Cracky, that went off quickly, didn't it? Hey up, it's Steve, that old Yorkshire geek. The reason that ended quickly is because I had to rush that intro through. I forgot to do it. So it got to like 9:15, 15 minutes to go. I thought, blimey, I better do this quickly. I thought I was going to be late. So anyway, so there we go. Welcome to episode 106 of Magnificent Mondays, and this week we're having a look at Serenity, the theatrical sequel to Joss Whedon's Firefly TV series, which I have got on DVD, but I couldn't find it, but never mind. I thought my son had it, but he hadn't. But anyway, yes, so we're looking at that tonight, so that should be fun. A great film, in my opinion, to an okay series. I can't say I'm a Firefly fan. I thought it were okay. You know, I liked it enough that I bought the DVD, as did a million other people, a bazillion other people, which is why it got a movie, which nobody went to see. But anyway, Win Grace is here, says Serenity now, it's Seinfeld. No, I don't get it. I've never seen a single episode of Seinfeld. Never seen it. I don't even know if it showed over here. I'm sure it did on like Comedy Central or something, but I don't know. Anywho, so before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. We're live on YouTube and Rumble and Twitch. Don't know why I keep doing Twitch. And what else? Explore the description for links for stuff like merch and my books, which are under there. Amazon Kindle and paperback. My other websites, my other channels, etc., me social medias, blah, blah, blah. Become a member, and then you get early access videos and exclusive videos and what they call them, exclusive emojis in the chat. Join in the live chat if you've been a subscriber for longer than a day. I thought my thumb were dirty then. When I held it up then, I thought my thumb were dirty. Anyway, what else? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Right, so Serenity from 2005. Written and directed by Joss Whedon. Is he still in the bad books in Hollywood? He hasn't done a lot, has he, recently? But anyway. As I said, based on his series Firefly, which lasted, I don't know, was it 13 episodes or something like that? It got cancelled, didn't it? So like halfway through the season. But it sold a bazillion DVDs. So they give him chance to finish his story in movie form. Anywho, stars Nathan Fillion, Alan Tudyk, or is it Tudyk? However it's pronounced, it's unfortunate. Adam Baldwin, no relation to the other Baldwins. Summer Glau, Chiwetel Ejiofor, who else is in it? Gina Torres, Morena Baccarin, Jewel State, Sean, is it Maher? I don't know how to pronounce it. Ron Glass, and various others. Sarah Paulson appears in it briefly, in hologram form. Had a budget of $39 million, box office of $40 million. Like I say, it bombed at the box office, unfortunately. But everybody seems to like it. Let's see what its reception says on Wikipedia. Yeah, despite high anticipation, Serenity performed poorly at the box office. But it's got an 82% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, so it's got a decent thing. 2 thumbs up from Roger Ebert. But anyway, yeah, it's a really good film. A good way to finish up his story. But anyway, right. So, is that it? Yeah, we'll get on with it, shall we? We're not just going to watch the film, because YouTube are good crackers and they just stop the stream instantly. I'll still get a copyright claim from Universal, because it's a Universal movie. And Universal and Warner Brothers are the two worst for copyright claims. And you do your dispute, you put your dispute in, all the flowery, lawyerific language that you put in, it doesn't matter. They'll leave it a few days, and then they'll just, reject the dispute. When you put a dispute in, it should be YouTube that settles it, not who you're disputing against. Anyway, don't get me started. But anyway, so I got a copyright claim for Apollo 18, but that's not a Universal or Warner Brothers thing. So I put a dispute in. Cool. almost straight away, within a couple of hours, I think it was. Dispute successful. Yay! So that video's monetized again. So thank you, the company behind that. Right, so we're going to watch it in a series of stills. I'll try and remember what I've gleaned from the. I didn't get a chance to watch everything on the Blu-ray because there's a lot of special features. And there's 2 commentaries, one from Joss Whedon and one from the cast. And there's some behind-the-scenes stuff as well. I didn't get a chance to watch them all, but anyway, I'm not an expert on Serenity, and I can't say I'm a huge fan. I'm not a brown coat. But I did enjoy it for the most part. It's a bit too westerny for me. I know it's supposed to be like a western in space, but it's a bit too westerny for me. But anywho, we'll get on with it. Enough of my jibber jabber, as Star Wars Meg, is that what she says? Anyway, right, so I'll put myself down in the corner and we'll get on with it. If I can remember what to bloody press. Oh dear. Now then, which one is it? Is it that one? Or is it that one? No, it's not that one. I tell you, I can never remember what to press. Right, here we go. We shall begin. As I said, in a series of stills. Is it going to come on? There we go. We get the good old Universal logo, and it's one of those cool logos that transforms. It's not just the logo, and then the film starts. It becomes part of the film. As we zoom in, you see, as we zoom into Earth, look. The Earth changes and becomes Earth of the future. I'm not exactly sure exactly how far in the future. Serenity, the Firefly Serenity is set in the 26th century sometime. It's supposed to be like 500 years in the future or something. But I don't know when this happens. It looks like there's bombs going off on Earth. You see all these lights going off? It looks like a nuclear war, I don't know. But the subtitles say, if it's going to say it, there we go, Earth that was unable to sustain all of us because we were too many. But so we left the Earth, did humans, in ships such as these. I don't know how fast they go, but we went to another solar system. They keep saying in the film that they keep talking about the universe and the galaxy and stuff like that, but no, we didn't explore the galaxy. We just went to another solar system that had lots of planets and lots of moons for us to colonise. But anyway, I don't even know if they can travel faster than light. I've no idea. I don't think it's ever mentioned. Laura Smith say hello, Laura. Long time no see. Serenity, great film. It is a really good film. Better than the series, in my opinion. As I said, I'm not a huge Firefly fan. I do like it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Anywho, where were we? So here we go, the ship's leaving. Slightly reminiscent of Battlestar Galactica, the original, when Adama sends out word for all people who have survived this catastrophe, and you see all the ships leaving the planets. Anyway, they found another star system. Don't know which one it is. Does it tell us? Do we know? Does it say in the plot thing? Hang on, let me check. I don't know if it's just a made-up one. Which... Oh, no. What is the star system in Firefly? Let's have a look. No, it doesn't say. Hang on, no. 34 Tauri. There we go. A fictional multi-star system. Oh, there's more than one star in this system, is there? Located around the central star, 34 Tauri. So there we go. So where's 34 Tauri then? I'll look that up now. How far away is it? Did I press that? Wikipedia. Right, how far away? Oh, it doesn't even have a Wikipedia entry. Is it a made-up one then? I think it might be a made-up one. No, it ain't. No. Discovered by William Herschel in 1781. How far away is it? Why won't it tell us? Why doesn't it have a Wikipedia entry? All the links are for Firefly. Oh, here we go. Astronomy Now. confused. Is 34 Tauri another name for Uranus? Or Uranus, if you want to have a giggle? I don't know. I'm confused. I am confused. Oh, yes, it is. Yes. So it's not a star then. Yes. When William Herschel discovered Uranus, he didn't discover the rings around Uranus. In 1781 or whatever I said. No, I'm wrong. No, he discovered it. But the earliest records of Uranus, William Herschel named it and said, this is a planet. But it was discovered before in 1690 by Flamsteed, and he called it a star, 34 Tauri. So, but unknown to Flamsteed, I'll say he discovered the planet, but it was a star called 34 Tauri that he called it that. So it isn't a star, it's the planet Uranus, whatever. So something else Joss Whedon's got wrong. Anywho, Windgrace says, according to the internet, no faster than light in this universe, and Serenity has a top speed of 400,000 miles per hour. Okie dokie. It does take them a while to get places, doesn't it? Even within the star system. But anyway. Right, so they found this other star that they've called 34 Tauri, but it's not. It's a fictional star system with dozens of planets and hundreds of moons that they terraform. So, and then the Alliance is set up. Why they call it the Alliance, I don't know. But it becomes the seat of government in the inner planets. But the outer planets are more savage. There we go. And the civil war erupts. And it's basically, the Southerners against, the South against the North. It's essentially that. But she says, the war was devastating, but the Alliance won. And the Independents lost. And then for some reason they show a picture of it looks like Mars. I don't know why, but anyway. But never mind. And there we go. There we see a little view of the system. There we go. Lots of planets in this system, isn't there? And some of them are really close. I can't see that being terraformed unless it's it could be a dwarf star, couldn't it? You never know. But anyway, another picture of Jupiter there. It looks like Jupiter. Could they just make up some planets? I don't know. So, and then we cut to, we see that we're in a classroom. We're in a classroom, and this is the teacher teaching these kids all about, the history of the Alliance and all that. And then we learn about the Reavers, who apparently, I don't know if it said in the series, we learned about the Reavers in the series. I think we only saw them a couple of times, didn't we? But there were these threats that were out there, like zombie-like things that got you. But we see them in this. They only popped up about 10 years earlier, and I don't know if it said that in the series. I could be wrong. But so they're going on about them and saying that, they're cannibals and they'll get you and they'll grape you and all that stuff. But then the teacher's asking, why wouldn't the Independents want to, come under the civilized rule of the Alliance? And this is, that we learn, is a young river tam. She's saying, we meddle. So, obviously Joss Whedon's not a fan of government meddling, but, we tell people how to live their lives and what they should do and what they should think, and that's not true. And then we learn it's kind of a nightmare because the teacher comes over and stabs her in the eye, like that. And then we cut to grown-up River Tam, played by the lovely Summer Glau, who you may remember from, I can't remember what else she was in. She was in Sarah Connor Chronicles, wasn't she? Was she in Dollhouse as well? Can't remember if she was or not. Probably. But she's Justin's here saying giving us a $3 super sticker. I'm gonna have to check now what that is, because I've got to close all the other tabs, or it affects the stream for some weird reason. Anyway, let's have a look and see what Justin's sent us in his super sticker. What is it? It's, I don't know, it's some sort of bird doing a fist bump. Yeah, fist bump to he can't see me. I'm behind his thing. Dear. doing a fist bump, yay. And he also goes on to say, great movie and show. Yes, I prefer the movie to the series. The series were all right. That's it. A bit too westerny for me. The Cape. Was she in The Cape as well? I don't know. I don't think I ever saw The Cape. Fist bump, it says. Yes, I've just found out. And Josh Temple's here, ready to harpoon some reavers for us before they harpoon you. Anyway, where were we? Right, this is River Tam. She's in an Alliance lab. This is a kind of a flashback, but we learn it's actually like on a holodeck, reliving what they did, the experiments that they did to River Tam. She was psychic. She was a young psychic girl, and Alliance noticed this and took her away and from her family and did all experiments on her. And her brother's going to come in and rescue her any minute now. So, and here we see that it's actually a brother, this scientist who's doing these tests on River. I nearly said Summer then. Learn it's him. He's pretending to be from the Alliance, from the government. There he is. And they're saying, what you doing here? And I'm here to check on it and all that stuff. But then he says she always loved to dance because we learned that she's their star pupil, so to speak. She's going to program her mind to do all these amazing stuff. Anyway, he does this. There we go. He drops that down, knocks them all out. Luckily, they're all the right height for this thing to knock them out. Anyway, Wingrace says, I like the show movie. Everyone calls it perfect, but I feel like had it gone on, people would find major problems with it. I don't think it's perfect. I like it, but I'm not a massive fan of it. As I've said a million times now, it was too much like a western for me, not enough sci-fi. But I don't think Joss Whedon's particularly good at writing sci-fi, not space-based sci-fi anyway, which we'll get into. But I did enjoy it. He's good at dialogue and that. We all know that, don't we? She's one of the three major sci-fi rivers. It's got me thinking now. We've got River Tam. We've got River Song. What's the other one? I don't know. Clear Rivers from Final Destination. That's horror though, isn't it? I don't know. You have to tell me what the other river is. Anyway, so he knocks all them out and gets her out, and there we go. They've got to escape next to. I saw that. It's a Pixie's supply station, and I was just thinking it looks like the PlayStation, doesn't it? Ensign Rivers in Enterprise. Enterprise is my favourite Star Trek. I don't even know it. Who the hell's Ensign Rivers? I have no idea. So Ensign Rivers in Enterprise is a major sci-fi river. Are they? I don't even know if it's a man or a woman. Anyway. All right. Well, that's Seth MacFarlane's character. What, he appeared in like twice or something like that? Did he have one line? Anywho, right, so they're escaping now from this facility, which I think is the same place where they actually filmed in the series. Because they showed this in the series, didn't they? But it were obviously different. They remade it for the movies, but here she's hiding up on the roof. You notice they've got a little bit sticking out there because when they scouted it all out, obviously they knew she'd have to do this, but the corridor were too wide, so they had to build this so she could fit across. Summer Glau is very nimble and limber because she's a dancer. Justin says, I'm a Buffy guy, so it had Joss's style of writing. Yes, it does. It's very Joss Whedon, isn't it? So she's hiding up there. Luckily, nobody looks up. You'd notice, wouldn't you? Nobody has peripheral vision in movies, do they? Anyway, they get out, so they escape, and they get into this elevator. Bad guys are coming. I thought these were going to be blue hand guys, but they're not. We don't see the blue hand guys for some reason in this film. I don't know why. Anyway, they're trying to get to him, and here comes the ship. I can't remember who it was. He hired not mercenaries. He hired somebody, didn't he, to save them, to rescue them or whatever, and I can't remember the details of it. But it was slightly, I'm sure it was slightly different to what we see in here in the series. But anyway, they're about to escape, and then we hear somebody say, "Stop, reverse, rewind," or whatever. There we go. Pardon me, the operative. Say backtrack, stop, and then he appears. Chiwetel Ejiofor. We may know from, what's he been in? Was he in Doctor Strange? He was in Doctor Strange, wanted the first Doctor Strange film, I think. Yes, he was. He's been in loads of other stuff as well. In here plays the operative, the bad guy with no name. So anyway, so he's watching it. Here comes the doctor that we saw earlier talking to Simon Tam, saying, "What are you doing here? Nobody's allowed in here." He says, "Well, I am." And then he goes and just kills everybody, basically, because he's there to investigate how River Tam has escaped. He was in both Doctor Strange. Was he in both? I can't remember. I've only seen the second one. Well, I've only seen both of them once. But, anyway. So he's saying, she's escaped, and you said that, you put her in a room with the key people in Parliament, top politicians and stuff like that, leaders of the military and leaders of government and all that, and you put them in the same room as a psychic, and now she's escaped. She's out there somewhere in the verse. Anyway, so he's not happy, so it's his job to find her and to punish this lot, basically. It says, in days long gone, men would have to be, if somebody made a mistake the magnitude of yours, or worse to that effect, they would be asked to fall on their swords. And he goes, "Well, unfortunately, I haven't got a sword." So he gets his out. There we go. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring a sword. Ching! There we go. He gets his sword out. But and then takes out the two guards, and he goes running off, and then he stops him. He does his Chekhov's thing in his side. I don't know if this is true, but in this film, apparently, according to the operative, there's a nerve cluster there, and if you do that and twist, you paralyse somebody. Is that real? Probably not. But anyways, paralysed him, and then he holds his sword, and he's going to fall on. They're going to make him fall on the sword because he thinks it's honourable. Does the operative? And as we're waiting for that to happen, he's telling this young woman to say, "I need all the records on River Tam." And then he says, "This is a good death, an honourable death." And he says, "We've got work to do." And he says, "Where are you, little girl?" He does say it on this. Subtitles, come on, why are you coming on subtitles? There you. Where are you hiding, little girl? Justin says it was in 2012 also. Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yes, it was in 2012 as well. Was it 2012 or was it Day After Tomorrow? No, 2012, wasn't it? I think. I don't know. Right, so and then we're going to cut to the titles. There we go. Serenity, which blends into the side of the ship. There's the Serenity, which is a Firefly class ship. Ugly bugger. Don't get me started, because I think Joss Whedon has just ripped, or whoever designed the ship, basically just ripped off the Star Chaser from Star Chaser: The Legend of Orrin. It's very much like that, but uglier. But anyway, here it comes. It's a cargo ship in it, and a bit ramshackle, and the bit's going to fall off it. There we go. They're entering the atmosphere of this planet that they're going to. Don't ask me which planet it is. I can't remember. But anyway, a bit falls off. I think it's this bit here comes flying off in a minute. Oh no. There we go. So it's all amusing. He says, "What were that?" And I don't know, what were that? So we're going to meet the rest of the crew, and we've got a one shot from now on, I think it's from now on, like a 4-minute continuous shot. And Joss Whedon said, "I've not done it to be, artistic or anything like that, to show how clever I am. I just wanted to show the inside of the ship and meet the crew in a natural way." I thought, no, you're just showing how clever you are, right? But I do like one shots. I like the one at the beginning of Spectre as well, the James Bond film. I like that one as well. Apparently there's another good one in Casino, isn't there? But I haven't seen Casino. Anywho, so there we go. So there's Nathan Fillion as Captain Malcolm Reynolds, who was a soldier for the Independence, a brown coat, because he's still got his brown coat on. That's Wash. I forgot that. I can't remember the full names, but he's called Wash. Washburn, isn't it? Hoban Washburn. Who's the pilot? Hang on, where are we? It could be, but it would only be for a short time. I forgot what I said. I've said something, haven't I? And I've forgotten already. What could be? I'm hopeless. I am hopeless. Anyway, there's Wash's pilot. So anyway, they're coming in and they're saying, we might make it, we might not. But so he's doing his quippy one-liners. There's Adam Baldwin as Jane. I can never remember the full names. Jane Cobb, of course. Jane Cobb. Has he got a girl's name? Don't know, but he just has. Hello, are they all right? Says, yes, we saw Miranda Baccarin's name. We don't see her in this for a while, do we? But we're going to see her later. She plays Inara, the whore. Anyway, so they're going on a job, by the way. They're going to this planet for a, they're going to do like a heist. And Jane wants to take grenades and all this heavy artillery and stuff. And they say, no, we're not taking all that stuff. Here's Gina. Where are we? There's Gina Torres as Zoe. Zoe Washburn. She's married to the pilot. And so she was his. I think she was his sergeant. I think she's a sergeant, isn't she, in the war? And she stayed loyal. She stays loyal to Malcolm for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. But and there's Kaylee, who's the engineer, played by Jules State. Another Stargate alumnus. How many is there in this? There's Miranda Baccarin. There's Jules State. Who else is in it? Adam Baldwin's been in Stargate, hasn't he? Anyway. Is this still the same ship set from the show? Or did they have to rebuild? I imagine they rebuilt it for this film. I imagine. Yes, Adam Baldwin. What did I say? I'm sure I said Adam Baldwin. Anywho, and there's Simon Tam. And he's not happy because Mal wants to take River on the heist with them. Because they're going to rob a payroll on this planet. It's very western. Even the town looks like a western town. But he's not happy. He says, you're not taking us. I says, well, I am taking us. Oh, there. Because Simon Tam is the ship's doctor. In the series, you learn how they all meet and all that stuff. How they all end up on the same ship. You said it. I said it while you were thinking. The delay, innit? The delay of the internet. The famous delay. Anyway, so they're taking her. So he says, I'll look after her. Anyway, they're landing now. They're getting ready to land and getting ready to go. There's River. Oh, what happened then? There we go. Oh, for Pete's sake. Oh, for crying out loud. Making myself dizzy. Good effects in this, by the way, but it's a bloody ugly ship, innit? Bloody ugly ship. But everybody seems to love it for some reason, but it just rips off Star Chaser. So they land anyway, and off they go. On the mule. Right, so he says, I'll take care of her. There may even be tears. So off they go on the mule. This is a hovercraft. So leaving only Kaylee and Simon on the ship. Kaylee's in love with Simon, but he doesn't know it yet. He does, spoilers, he does by the end of the film. But and Wash is up in the cockpit or bridge or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so they're heading to town. Here it is. And by the way, the music for this film is very westerny as well. I think in bits of it, I mean, it might have been here actually. Let's go back a bit so we can hear the music. You can hear it playing just a minute.
If there's fighting, drop.
Can't hear it. Stop speaking. Let me get out. Stop being so loud. Can't hear it. Never mind. The music, it kind of reminds me of the music from Assassin's Creed Black Flag. But anyway, I forgot who did the music for this. I'll have to check. David Newman. Apparently it's an Oscar-nominated thingy. Wingrace says, I feel like Simon is the only one I don't remember seeing in anything else. I think I have seen him in something else, but I can't remember what. So I'm going to have to look him up now. Sean Mayher. Oh, I don't even pronounce it. What else has he been in? He's done a lot of voice work. But no, I've not seen him in anything else. Oh, hang on, that's for film. So let's look in movies. Have I seen him in anything else? Oh, he was in Arrow. That might be where I've seen him in. He was in Arrow. Yes, that could be it. But that were after this. I've been in Ghost Whisperer as well. I might have seen him in that. If it were one of the earlier ones. But, yeah, but Arrow were after this. So I don't know about before. No. No, there's nothing before that's jumping out at me. Anywho. Then I've seen him in passing. Anyway, shoot. Right, so they're off into town, as I said, to do the heist. They're going to steal the payroll, and they're saying that if they steal the payroll from this company that's on this planet, they'd never report it for reasons, because it'd be embarrassing for this company to admit that they had the payroll stolen or something. I don't know. But anyway, so here we go. So they've taken River because she's psychic, so they can use her psychic powers. So here they are, holding everybody at gunpoint. The baddies, I suppose. But anyway, I think one of them's going to try and get a gun, but she knows she can read their minds as she points to them, and don't even try it. There we go. By the way, Gina Torres, gorgeous. She's bloody, isn't she? She was an angel, wasn't she? She played like a demigod or something, or an old one, didn't she? Jasmine, something like that. Made an impression. I've seen it in other things as well, and I can't remember what. Anyway, right, so that's where they do the joke, where they break into the safe, and there we go, and she says,
"At last, we can retire and give up this life of crime."
But that's not the real stuff. It's down in the secret vault, which is down there. So they're gonna go down. So they start grabbing the door that's down there. The Matrix. Was she in that? I genuinely can't remember. Seeing her in the Matrix. Anyway. But anyway, River's freaking out now because here we go. We're going to see the Reavers arrive any minute now. Here they come. Shut up! I bloody muted you. There we go. God, bloody loud, isn't it? The Reavers arriving. They're horrible ships. I don't understand how these Reavers work. It's supposed to be like these savage cannibals. You can see they've got bodies on the hulls of their ships, or skeletons or whatever. And we learnt the cannibals and the savage and what else? And do all this stuff, and they like run around screaming and shouting and going like zombies essentially. But yet they can maintain and operate spaceships. I don't get it. Anyway, right, so Reavers are coming, so they've all got to get out. He tells the guard that's down there to get everybody in the vault, everybody in the building, in the vault, and seal it, and don't come out unless you run out of air, because Reavers are coming. Anyway, so they get out of there, they set off. This fella wants to get on. We're saying, "No, let me go, let me on." Says, "We haven't got room, sorry," and he pushes him off. Does Mal, showing he can be a bit cruel, and the Reavers descend upon him. There we go, and Mal shoots him to save him from the Reavers because they'd tear him apart. They probably still will, but anyway, at least they won't tear him apart alive now. And Zoe's not very happy about this. She's not very happy about that. Anyway, so they're setting off. Here we go. But a Reaver ship is in hot pursuit, all smoke billowing out the back. So they're being chased. They get on the radio to Wash. They come and meet us. We've got Reavers in hot pursuit. So they're heading for to save them. Anyway, the fire. Here we go. This is where the fire a harpoon, and it gets Jane in the leg. There we go. Gets Jane in the leg. I think this film was filmed in California, by the way. It looks very California, yeah. Although I don't think we see Vasquez rocks. Let me check. Where we saw the scenes where we saw River at the beginning, that was the Huntington Library in San Marino, California, in the Botanical Gardens. This was filmed on the Templin Highway, the Angeles National Forest in California. It was actually on a road. Can you see part of the road in places? It looks like it there, doesn't it? It was actually on a road, and it was like a low loader truck or whatever they call them. And the mule were attached to an arm, so it looked like it were hovering, but it was actually on the road. I suppose in some of the shots where you can see the landscape underneath it, I suppose they did it a different way then. But anyway, Winger says, well, a lot more things might start getting filmed in California with the new Trump film tariff. Yeah, well, I think that's the point, isn't it? I think that's what Trump's saying, isn't it? With his 100% tariff, he's wanting more films to be made in the USA instead of going overseas. But it'll just mean films will become more expensive, I imagine, won't they? But anyway. Just have to stop paying so much, won't they? They'll work something out. Anywho, where were we? Oh, yes, Jane's been harpooned and is hanging on for dear life, and Mal's trying to shoot the rope, or whatever it is, which he does, and saves Jane. But anyway, here comes the Firefly in a minute. With the closing on them, look, and she's going to crash into these rocks and make the Reaver ship crash into the rocks, but it comes round. There it goes, and now it's heading for them. So they're playing chicken or whatever. Oh no, it's behind them, isn't it? Never mind. But here comes the Firefly. Here comes the Serenity, and they're getting emergency. What they call docking plan B, emergency plan B or whatever, like of Star Trek 5. They do that. Anyway, and the hang on, where are we? The Reaver ship crashes into the back of the Serenity, and bits of it come into the docking bay or whatever it's called, hangar bay, cargo bay. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, so they've escaped. They get away, but there's a Reaver in there, and so he jumps up, and they all shoot him. So he's dead. Disaster averted. So they get away, and off they go into space. It is quite good, actually, because they're all arguing and talking. Simon punches Mal, because, he put River in danger. So they're having words, but you can hear all this in the background. You can hear sound effects going on because they're heading up into space, and it carries on for a while. All this background noise, but then he goes onto the bridge, and I think he's talking. It might be now actually where he's talking to Zoe, and then it all sort of just calms down. It goes quiet all of a sudden as they get into space. But it's very, very well done. Anyway, Justin says Hollywood is in bad shape. It seems to be at the moment, doesn't it? World is crazy. Tariffs, digital IDs. Oh my, yes, what's happening over here, isn't it? Digital IDs. They've been trying to get them in for years. But anyway, I don't think it'll pass in House of Parliament. I don't think it'll pass. But anyway, we'll see, won't we? She's saying to him, did you have to kill that man? And, said the mule wouldn't take 5. Actually, the mule originally would take 5. When it was originally built for Joss Whedon for the film, that's to put 5 seats in it. And Joss Whedon says, no, we can't, because in the script I've put the mule won't take 5. Why don't you just put the mule won't take 6? I don't know, but anyway. So they remade it, took a seat out or whatever. Made it a little bit smaller. But anyway, so they're having a tidy up. A bit of a philosophical discussion now about Reavers. Is Jane and is it Kaylee that's with him? Where are we? I think it is, isn't it? Is it? Yes, she's there. Look, Kaylee. And he's saying, why would somebody do the other? Because they cut the face. They're a bit like the people in Ghosts of Mars, where they self mutilate themselves and all that stuff, and that's the cannibals and all that savage. Saying, why are people like that? She says, the people used to say that they'd gone to the edge of the verse and just seen just the blackness beyond, and it drove them crazy. And he says, well, I've been to the edge, I've just seen more space, which, it is, isn't it? But anyway. Justin says, I'm totally against digital IDs or digital currency. Yeah, pretty much. Although I do use my bank card a lot. I very rarely use actual money these days, but occasionally. Surprised he didn't turn it into a joke. It won't fit 5 when they're back in the ship. Someone points at the 5th seat. What about that? Yeah, that'd have been a very Joss Whedon-y thing to do, wouldn't it? He could have been arguing about it on the way back, and then he says, it won't fit 5 when they get back, and it's all calmed down a bit. But anyway. Yeah, so they're all about that, all about the Reavers. She's listening, is River. I think she's talking a little bit about Simon. I think. Anyway, Mal's looking at a photo of Inara, played by the lovely Morena Baccarin. She's married to somebody, isn't she? In Gotham. I forgot the name of the fella that starred in Gotham. She's married to him, isn't she? You may know from Stargate SG-1 as well, and loads of other stuff, Deadpool, etc. Why has he got a photo of it? It looks like a screenshot, doesn't it, from an episode? They've just turned into a photo. But anyway, does it change? Is it super future? Oh, it is. It's a futuristic photo. It's a video. My dreams. Do you like Marine? I get it. I use my debit card, but mainly cash and coin. It's the best way to do. Sorry, did I say that out loud? It's fine. She's gorgeous. It's Marina Baccarin. Hello, are they all right? I'd join the all right if she'd come up to me. Anyway, so looking. Obviously, in the series, you know that it will like a weird relationship they have. They're always arguing. Inara and Mal, but you know that they had that attraction to each other, but it never came to anything, and it doesn't in this either. It carries on. It's the status quo. When we see her later. Anyway, so they've arrived at, I forgot what they call it, a planet. Does it say? Let me check in the plot. I forgot the name of it. Pardon me. Where have they gone to? I can't remember. It's a weird. I can't remember what they call the name of the planet, and it doesn't say in the bloody plot description on whatever. Daniel will tell me they're false gods. Yeah, yeah. What's your point exactly? Well, I'm saying she's not a god at all. She just fits. Anyway, so they're landing at this planet, which I forgot the name of, but I don't know if we'd seen it in the series. I don't know, but I can't remember. Justin says, I'm not anti-tech as long as the old ways are still allowed. And now I'm anti-super intelligent AI. AI is terrifying, it is. It's going to be the end of us within 50 years. That's my prediction. A toygnostication. Anywho, so the docking. Here we go, the docking, and they're heading into town. They're going to this like weird nightclub called the Maidenhead, which is a town in Kent. In it, Maidenhead in Kent. I'm sure it is. Let me check. Town in England. Is it in Kent? No, it's in Berkshire. All right. Why did I say Kent? Nowhere near Kent. Anyway, never mind. See, Justin's so cynical. I were being optimistic. I'm giving us 50 years. Justin's only giving us 10. Oh dear. Yeah, pessimist. Anyway, so they're heading into to this bar to their loot. They've got to give it off to these gangsters. The gangsters will take their cut of it. Anyway, it's very Blade Runner-y, by the way. This town. It's in the Firefly verse. There's a lot of Chinese because Joss Whedon decided that in the future there'd just be two superpowers left, America and China, and eventually they'd merge, so that we'd get a lot of Chinese signs and people would speak a bit of Chinese, but only some of the time. Rest of the time, everybody's speaking as though they live out on the bloody homestead in the middle of the prairie in 1860. But anyway. But cool effects. There we go. It's very Blade Runner-y look. You even see a fella on a push bike in a minute. Obviously an iguana. I wonder if that's a what do they call it? A synthetic iguana. Don't know. Anyway, there we go. So you can see a fella on a push bike. Look, very Blade Runner. Right. So anyway, Simon's decided that he and River are leaving the ship. So Kaylee's not happy about that. So she's giving him advice, saying, talk to the captains. If you're going to go on another ship, talk to the captains. Don't talk to the hawkers. Except don't go on a ship with a certain engine, or because they just fall out of the sky. Basically look after yourselves. She doesn't want to see him go because she's in love with him. But anyway, he asks River. He says, do you want to stay? And she says, it's not safe. And he says, yes, I know. And then walks off. And then she goes, for them. But not like that. There we go. That's where she said it. Right, so they head into this dingy bar called, there we go, Maidenhead. And we see that they are being watched on the security feed. Anyway, they've got to leave their weapons behind in this lock-up thing. They get a token or something to get them back. So they're going to go and meet... yes, Kaylee's going on about how she's not had any action in the bedroom for a long time. And so she's been a bit graphic about it. Talking about things that need batteries. So he's Mal's saying, I don't need to hear that. And Jane says, I could do to hear some more. But anyway. Right, so they're going to meet. There we go. These twins. Who plays these? I don't know who plays these. Let's have a look. Does it tell us? I don't. Oh, there we go. Jan Feldman and Raphael Feldman as Mingo and Fanti. They're kind of like gangsters. Justice says, I'm actually very optimistic, but also realistic. Unless we put very strong guardrails or abandon the super intelligent aspect to AI, it will be very soon. You could be right. We'll just have to see, won't we? Because I don't think they'll do anything about it. Maybe they can't. Maybe AI is already in charge and we just haven't realised it yet. Anyway. Right, so I always can tell which is which, by the way. They don't understand how. He says one of them's more handsome than the other, but they're identical twins. But anyway. Right, so they're doing their talking to these, and they're saying we're now taking 40%, and apparently it's because word is getting out that the Serenity, is on the radar of the Alliance, and that the word on the street is that they're looking for somebody that's with them. So that they're a hot property right now. So they're taking 40% of the loot. Meanwhile, River's wondering about. She's going to watch the telly. There we go. Some whatever this is going on the telly, and it triggers a. There we go. We see an octopus. It's very Japanese. It's not really Chinese, is it? It's more like a Japanese commercial that you see on Japanese telly, isn't it? But because they eat muck like this, don't they? Lots of fishy, seafoody flavour stuff. I wouldn't do well in Japan, me. I genuinely would not do well in Japan. Or anywhere in the Far East, for that matter. They eat some horrible stuff, don't they? Anyway, so she's having visions and stuff, and then she's watching that, and then the focus goes all weird, and they did it actually. They said and they turned all the lights off on the room in the room, so her face is just being lit by a single light that's supposed to be from the TV screen, and what they did, you know, they like put this weird filter over it, and it looks like kind of a dream sequence, and anyway, she just kicks off and just starts beating up everybody randomly. It's very good. She's great in fight scenes. This Summer Glau, by the way. She has 2 fight scenes in this film. She's got this one and one later on, because she's super graceful being a dancer. So it's all like choreographed and stuff. So she's like saying, beating up people left, right, and centre. And he's like, "What's going on over there?" It's a good old bar fight, and she's leathering everybody. Lots of spins. So he's going to try and stop her. He gets this fella first, doink. He grabs hold of her, says, "It's me!" But she beats him up. Gets this fella to shoot somebody else. But then Simon appears, there we go, and he says some words in Chinese, I think. And she just passes out. It's a safe word. Justin says Spectre. A James Bond film is Spectre. My favourite of the Daniel Craig films. Anyway, you'll be able to get away with lots of curry and noodles. Yes. That's all I'd eat. That's all I'd eat. Intelligence without emotion and morals and mercy. Pure logic. It is bad for mankind. The bad thing is, this is Josh Temple telling us now. The bad thing is AI is likely demonic and will seek to wipe out morality, which allows for self-determination. Crikey, that's deep. Josh. Good heavens above. Yes, the octopus on the screen, Spectre. Yes, it's because that's the logo, isn't it, for Spectre. But yes, Josh brings up some valid points. I don't know, it might be demonic, but it's not good, is it? If left unchecked. We've got to have safeguards in, haven't we? To stop it wiping us out. Skynet style. Let me get a drink. Anywho, back to the film. Back to the film. Oh, come on, lid. God, I hate these new bloody lids that, they're fastened on. Get on. That's it. Right. Simon said his safe word to River, and she's just passed out. So they get her back to the ship pronto. She's passed out with lots of unconscious. I don't know how many died in this bit. I don't know, but we saw one fella get shot. So maybe at least he might not be shot dead. I don't know, but they've got away anyway. But before that, we see an Alliance cruiser. Cool ship design, by the way. Some cool ships in this, I must admit. Apart from ironically, the Firefly is the ugliest ship, pretty much in this verse, in my opinion. But the Alliance ships generally look pretty cool. This is the operative ship. They're getting a feed from the security cameras at Maidenhead, and they see that she's there. We get a readout about Mal Reynolds here. There we go. Malcolm Reynolds, male, date of birth 20th of September, so he's just had his birthday. 2468. There we go. So it must be the early 26th century then, mustn't it? Son of a rancher, born on the planet Shadow, bound by law 5 times, smuggling, tariff dodging, transporting illegal cargo. Tariff dodging, Trump wouldn't like him, would he? No convictions, so he's got a clean slate, but they've still got his fingerprints. So there we go. Anything else? What's happening there? Oh, there we go. Captain, Independent Army, 57th Brigade, volunteer. We see him at the beginning of Serenity, Firefly. I think the episode's called Serenity, isn't it? Because his ship is named after Serenity Valley, where that battle, I think the last battle of the war. That's what he's named his ship after. So I know some things about Firefly, even though I'm not a huge fan. 2468. I would like to think that we'll be far more advanced than this by then, but we won't. Probably not. Probably not. I guess we need a first contact to get us there. Yes, we do. We need the Vulcans to come and sort us out. Or whatever's on Comet 3i Atlas when it swings around the sun and deploys its drones to come and save us from ourselves. Anywho, right, so he knows now, does the operative, where River is. She's on the Serenity. They lock her up, by the way, they lock up River in, I don't know, the brig. I don't know if it's got a brig or is it just a locker. I don't know, but they've locked her up. And so they've got to have words with Simon about what's going on. Because they've always just thought she was a bit mental. Because I don't think in the series they ever saw it. Occasionally we got glimpses of what she was capable of, River, but I don't think the rest of them ever saw it. I don't think. But anyway, it's probably Brainiac. Is that what you mean, Brainiac? I don't know anything about DC Comics. I've heard of Brainiac, obviously, and I've obviously thought, what a stupid name. I always thought DC, characters often had very weird and like goofy names, didn't that? Brainiac. It's not the name of a supervillain, is it? Anyway, so he's telling them, that the Alliance had experimented on her and they'd done all this stuff and basically turned her into a super weapon. So he's saying, well, who's going to wake up when she wakes up in that room? Is it going to be the girl or is it going to be the weapon? But anyway, Jane's it. Oh, aye. And it's asking about what he said to her. He says, somebody told him that she had this code word. If I say the words, he starts saying it, and Jane says, "Don't say it here." Says it only works on her. I said, "Well, now that I know that." But anyway, so they've got to work out what to do. I think he's saying, by the way, saying, "I thought they were getting off. Why did you bring them back?" And we know it's because obviously Malcolm is a good man, even though he's a criminal. But anyway, he haven't decided what they're going to do yet. But anyway, I says we've got to talk to Mr. Universe. I don't like this character. It does my head in, and it's just a point. They just needed a character because they knew they were going to have a big space battle at the end of the film, but because in the Firefly show, they'd shown us that when you're actually in regular space, there's no sound. So if it had the space battle in regular space, it'd just be more or less silence. So they've created Mr. Universe, which is this weird bloke, young adult he looks more like. Torrey Justin says, "What? Don't know DC?" No, I've never been really a comics guy, apart from 2000 AD when I was younger. But anyway, he lives in this world. I forgot what they call it. This world, Themis or something. I can't remember. Does it say? I bet it don't tell us. Mr. Universe. No, it don't tell us where he lives. Never mind. It was like a hacker, anyways, Mr. Universe, and he lives on this planet that's got this ion cloud around it. So that's what's going to be the place where they're going to have the big battle at the end of it. It's like basically an extended atmosphere so you can hear the battle and see it going on. And he lives in this. I don't know. Is this an old place that he's moved into? Did the Alliance build this or something, or has he built this? I have no idea. But it's massive, and there's just him and his robot wife there. Who's not called Sharon, like on SpongeBob. Sharon, my lovely robot wife. Anyway, there he is. That's Mr. Universe. Just some bloke. Not like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was Mr. Universe or Mr. Olympia. Can't remember. But he's not a bodybuilder anyway, is he? But this is just a character they've invented for the film, just because they needed somebody for a bit of, I don't know, convenience. So that he can discover the subliminal message that triggered River. So anyway, so he's looking at they're sending him the feed. All right, he's not sending him. They've asked him if he can check because he gets all the signals from everywhere. Because it's all about you can't stop the signal, so he gets all the signals from all over the system at his place, and I don't know what he does with them. He just watches them. I don't know, but anyway. So he susses out that that's the robot wife. Apparently she had to sit there like that for 2 days while they filmed this scene. 2 days to film this scene. She's had to sit like that for 2 days. And he realises that in the TV that she was watching, there's a subliminal message, a hidden signal. There we go. He sees it in there. Look, that's in there. So it's saying this is military grade stuff. It's the government, the alliance. They've been looking for her, and now they've found her because of this. Because the new, it says he's been seeing this code pop up all over the place. So they're obviously just transmitting it everywhere, just in case she comes across the TV screen, and it'll trigger it, and they'll find it. They'll know where she is. So it's worked. So here she's getting all upset now, saying she can't, and she does this a lot in the series as well, a bit, saying she can't handle the real world, and she speaks in jumbled up, ways and all that. And she'd said Miranda, by the way, that when she kicked off, she looked at the screen and she went Miranda, and then beat everybody up. And by the way, look, they've cuffed her. She's in cuffs. And he's saying, what does Miranda mean? And she doesn't know. He says, am I talking to Miranda? And she goes, no. He says, no, obviously I'm not. But she's all confused. Anywho, wherever, I forgot where Inara is now. She says like at a halfway house or something, but I can't remember what planet it's on. I can't remember what happened in Firefly. Did she leave in the series? I can't remember. Or did she leave, in between the series ending and this? I don't know. Because she used to be with them on the ship. She had the shuttle on the ship, and she used that as her quarters, where she used to entertain them, usually rich men. Because Malcolm calls her a whore, but she's more like a high-class escort. But anyway. But there she is. But she's getting a visit, as you can see, for Pete's sake, from the operative. He's gone to see her. So he's obviously realised, it must be in the file or whatever about the Firefly, that she was once part of that crew. So anyway, they've gone to see Shepherd Buck, because he's left them as well, and he's settled on another planet. So they're all having fun at as I said, some cowboy homestead. And Shepherd Buck is like a preacher or a priest or whatever, a holy man who had a dark past that we never really found out what it was. But it was something to do with the Alliance. I don't know if it was an agent or I don't know, but he had power in the Alliance, and it got him out of scrapes occasionally in Firefly. But then he became a religious person and left and joined and ended up on the Serenity. But then he's left, obviously, and gone to these. So anyway, so he's gone to him for advice because he's wise. And there you go. I always look to you for counsel. There you go. But sermons make me sleepy, Shepherd. But anyway, I think he's basically saying, get her away from the Alliance or whatever. Anyway, I think she's having another dream now. So I think we're going to see. Are we? Is it this bit? No, not yet. Must be later. She has a dream about Reavers. Anywho, right. So he gets a message, a call from Inara, and she's basically just saying hello and all that stuff. It's autumn here. Blah blah blah. I want you to come for some reason or another. He talks about there's some stuff I've left, on the ship, and he says, "All right, I'll bring it." But he realizes it's a trap to get him to go there. But they're going to go anyway. They're going to spring the trap, so that's what they're going to do. Everybody were watching, by the way. So here they are, they're arriving at this planet. And he's going to go in disguise. That's where she's living, in some, I don't know, Far Eastern temple. Like a Buddhist temple somewhere. In the Himalayas, in Nepal. Watch out for Yetis. It looks like it could be from a game or something, doesn't it, that? But anyway. Sneaking in disguise. He's in disguise, is Mal. Here he is, he comes in, there we go. Dressed as a woman. But, Mal, what are you doing here? I've come to save you, or whatever. But the operative's there. There he is. So they're having a chit-chat. And he said, you won't get me angry. The operative says, because Mal's giving him, what's the word? He's calling him names and stuff like that. And he's saying, you'll not get me angry. And Harry says, just spend an hour with him. But he says, you can't beat us. I've come here, I'm unarmed. He says, good, and he shoots him. There's Mal in a minute. There we go, I'm unarmed, good. Shoots him, but he's wearing full body armor. Tells her to get out. So they're going to have a fight now. We're going to see that Mal can take a punch. He's really good at fist fights, is Nathan Fillion. The operative, totally outclasses Mal is in fighting. But, he don't give up. They carry on fighting. But it's Inara, really, that saves him, because she was lighting her incense thing on her shrine. And she says, that's not incense. And there we go. We get a flash bomb. And they've escaped to the shuttle. He says, what are you doing with my shuttle? He says, your shuttle. Anyway, they escape back to the ship and deploy all these, which are like sending off different signals, saying that they're going in different directions. And so they've escaped for now, and left him being a bit frustrated. He realises he's up against a formidable foe. Is Mal Reynolds. Anywho, so Inara's back now. Not quite the whole gang. Shepherd Buck's not with them. But anyway. So, they're wondering, what's going... They still don't know what's going on. Why do they want River? They don't know. What's it got to do with Miranda? Inara doesn't know what Miranda is. But anyway, Cobb's had enough. Oh, my, does he stands up to Mal here, says... I think Mal stands up to him, and Mal says, do you want to run this ship? And he says, yes, I do. He says, well, you can't. Is it this bit? I think it is this bit, isn't it? Have we got to it yet? Hang on. Where is it? That might not be. Might be later. Is it this bit? Hang on. No, where are we? Oh, here we go. Yeah. This is it, isn't it?
That's a manful scheme.
You want to run this ship?
Yes.
Well, you can't.
Oh, dear. So he's had enough as Jane. And so anyway, they go off and do their own things. And Jane's decided he's going to get River off the ship somehow. That she's having another dream. That's where we get a scary jump scare in a minute. Here we go. Oh no, in a minute. Here it comes, jump scare. It sounds like a horror film. There we go. A Reaver got her in a dream and she wakes up. Anyway, Jane is having a drink. Oh, it's a little tiny fly flying about and trying me field of vision. 4 of the actors were villains in Buffy and Angel. I don't know which one. Only know Gina Torres. What are the other 3? Anyway. Oh, Nathan Fillion. He were in Buffy, wasn't he? Yes, he were in Buffy. He were a baddie, wasn't he? It was him that took what's his bloody name now? Took his eye, didn't he? Xander took Xander's eye, didn't he? Did Nathan Fillion? I think it was him, wasn't it? Anyway, where were we? So he's had a drink. He thought, right, I'm going to sort her out. So he goes in with his gun and he says, "Go on, little girl. I'm going for a nice little shuttle ride." But there she's waiting for him. There we go. A call back to earlier on when she was up near the ceiling. She's doing it again and she's waiting for him. Then they hear gunshots. They all go running. They see Jane's down. They don't know where River is. Search the ship. But she's actually still in there. She opens the door. She opens the door and he starts talking and she punches him in the throat. Because later on she says, "I thought you might say those words and put me to sleep." But anyway, she's off to the bridge. So, and lock the doors. So he's going through the vents to get to the bridge. She's got a gun pointed at him. And she's looking for Miranda in the star charts. Nathan Adam Gina or Adam Baldwin played a baddie in Buffy and Angel. Buffy, or I don't know. What's the other one? They said 4. Anyway, she finds Miranda in the star charts. Does it show? There we go. She goes, "It's Miranda. It's a planet. It's actually a moon, isn't it? It's a moon of Uranus." There we go. I think. Yeah, it is. Pardon me. Named after the character from The Tempest. For some reason, Uranus's moons, or Uranus, however you want to pronounce it, are named after Shakespeare characters. All the other moons of the solar system seem to be named after, like gods or goddesses or whatever, people from legend. But for some reason, Uranus's moons are named after characters from Shakespeare. Oberon, Titania and Oberon and stuff like that, haven't we? Anyway, and Miranda. So, it's a planet called Miranda. So, that's where they're going to head to. But it's the other side of Reaver space, because they can't find any mention of it in the data banks. It's been wiped out. It's a big conspiracy, apparently. Apart from Kaylee, who says, "Oh yeah, I remember about 10 years ago, when the Reavers just happened to pop up, there were people saying that they were called for people to go to Miranda." So she's the only person that knows about it. Why did she say that earlier? She just remembered. Anyway. So that's where they're going to go. But they've got to find a way to get through Reaver space. But anyway, they're going back to Shepherd Book's colony or whatever the hell it's, homestead. And they arrive. I say homestead. Is it like a cobalt mine or something? I don't know what it is, but it's all in flames, and there's some crashed ship there, and there's dead bodies lying all over. So obviously the Alliance is attacked, and nearly everybody's dead. Even the kids, even children. So Kaylee's not happy about that. She should just give up this life and go become a doctor in the Pegasus galaxy, shouldn't she, Wingrave? Anyway, they find, luckily, Shepherd Book is alive, but badly injured, and he does die. He says, "I got the ship that killed us," and all that stuff. And he says, "I'm not one of your crew." And Mal says, "Yes, you are." So it's all very emotional, and Shepherd Book dies. So there we go. One of the Firefly cast has died. Anybody could die. They could do a Blake 7 by the end, and they're all gone. Anyway, so they was checking the feed, and suddenly the operative appears on the screen and tries to reason with Mal, and he says, "I am a murderer. I will kill women and children, to get what I want." He wants River Tam, but anyway, they're not going to. Obviously, he's not going to do that. Everyone always talks about the other death, but never this one. No, they never talk about Shepherd Book, do they? Or maybe others will die. Who knows? I'm presuming you've seen this by the spoiling the film to buggery. Anyway, right, so Mal comes down here and he tells them what they're going to do, and there is actually an outtake that is hilarious. I'm going to actually see if I can find it. I'm going to see if I can find it. I found it earlier on. I'm going to play the outtake first, because it is funny, if I can find it. It's on YouTube, that's where I found it. History, where's my history? There it is. There it is. Just bear with me. Right, shush. Put the volume. I'll drag it over. Where are we? We'll watch the outtake first. There we go. Hope I don't get done for this. Probably will.
Get these bodies together.
We got time for grave digging?
Zoe, each time they're gonna rope them together. 5 or 6 of them, one laid out on the nose of our ship.
Are you insane?
Put Book front and center. He's our friend. We should honor him. Daly, find that kid who's taking a dirt nap with baby Jesus. We need a hood ornament. Jane, try not to steal too much of their shit. Wash.
And they're all laughing because it's funny. There we go. Oh dear. But that were an outtake. He just made it up and they all laughed at him. But now he's saying that to get through Reaver space, they basically got to disguise Serenity as a Reaver ship. And Zoe's not happy about that. And he's saying, put some of the bodies on the hull of the ship. And in that outtake, he says, put Buck front and centre. He's our friend. He'd want it that way. Or it'd honour him. But so she's not happy. She says, you turn our ship into some, abomination. It's the only way they can get through Reaver space, you see. If they disguise their ship as a Reaver ship, and they're going to, fasten all loads of stuff to the ship and paint it red and all that stuff. And, is full of angry resolve, and is going to, we see that there's actually an Alliance person, still the pilot or whatever, still in that ship, and he comes out and he just shoots him down. There's Mal to show his determination. He's going to get him to Miranda. And there we go. Here's the Serenity with bodies fastened to the hull. But anyway, so off they go, passing through Reaver space. Oh, well, they've got to rig the engine as well to make it look as if it's all dirty. Anyway, here they go. They go passing through Reaver space. I don't know how these Reavers have survived for 10 years. If they're just these savages that just go around screaming and eating each other and other people and cutting themselves, but yet they can still maintain these ships. The ships are relatively space worthy. Some of them are huge. Look, that was massive. Anyway. So they get through Reaver space this time. We'll get another view of the Reaver ships. The Reavers are giving them a look over. Look, they've got lights on them, but they let them go for some reason. And they get to Miranda. Miranda's just there. So it's the other side of Reaver space. You're not kidding. It's bloody there. But as we learn, the Reavers originated on Miranda. We learn that in a bit. I think, he's saying, Define disappeared. They can't find, they don't know where the Serenity's got to. So they're going to go and pay a visit to Mr. Universe, I think, now. Anyway, the Serenity lands on Miranda, and they're in the space suits because they don't know if there's poison in the atmosphere, because she'd said earlier on, at River, that everybody on Miranda just lied down or something like that. She said the Reavers, they didn't lie down. That's what she says. And anyway, but get the tricorder out, so there's nothing in the atmosphere, so he instantly takes his helmet off. But anyway, so they're going to have a look around, and we learn that they're at some city. She said we flew over a dozen cities just like this one. There's no sign of life. There we go. It's very. It kind of reminds me a bit of the original series, Star Trek original series episode, Operation Armageddon, the one where Sam Kirk is killed by them flying omelette things, whatever they are. Kind of reminds me of that a bit, this episode. This part of the film. Reminds me of that episode. Anyway, they find a crashed ship. Have they found it yet? Have they found a body there? I don't know. Let's have a look. Where are we? Yes, they found a body. Look, just lying down. There we go. They find a ship that's crashed. It's called C-57D. And if you know your sci-fi films, C-57D is the name of the ship from Forbidden Planet, which itself was based on the Tempest. But it doesn't have Miranda in that. It has Altera instead of Miranda. But anyway, they see lots more dead bodies. There we go. They just lied down. Everybody just died. They just stopped what they were doing and just died where they were. So we get lots of this. So they'll say, this is weird. Don't like it. Something bad's happened here, and so we're going to find out what. So they go to this research place and they find it. It's on a hologram. Sarah Paulson pops up with some images of Reavers, and they were using a drug. Yes, it does. Also a Doctor Who episode. I don't know which one. I don't know which one. Anyway, there we go. So they'd used a drug that kept everybody. The hope was for it to keep everybody calm and not fight each other, but it had a side effect, something like, what was it? 1/10% were affected badly by it. She's going to say it in here. The Pax, that's what they call the drug. And it was in the, they put it in the atmosphere. What did she? Go on, say it. Oh, for crying out loud! Speak, woman, speak. I think it's 1/10%. So is it 1 in 1,000? Something like that, isn't it? It basically turned. They either just sat down and just didn't get up again and just died where they were, eventually starved to death, or they just turned into Reavers and just went round rampaging everywhere. And I think there were 30 million people on the planet, I think they said. So, like, is it like 30,000 of them? Or I think it's 30,000, I don't know. 30,000 of them became Reavers, something like that. Let's have a look, go back. They killed most of us. What is it? 1/10%. Right, yeah, 1/10%, yeah. So that's, well, whatever. 1 in 1,000. 1 in 100. Yes, 1 in 1,000, isn't it? But yeah, so it might be 300,000 then became Reavers. Whatever, but loads of them became Reavers. And basically, you know, the ones that didn't just sit down and die, the Reavers killed the others and left the planet, I'm guessing. So they've got to, Mal's decided they've got to tell everybody what happened on Miranda. They've got to get to Mr. Universe, and he'll be able to transmit the signal to everywhere in the Alliance and tell everybody what the Alliance has done here on Miranda. They've tried to cover it up. So for once, they're all in agreement. So he's going to get in touch with Mr. Universe. There he is. Getting in touch with Mr. Universe. Mr. Universe says, cool, come on then. We'll do this. But we learn that, there we go, he's actually, he's there, the baddies. The Alliance are there, the operative. And saying, see, I've done what you asked me to do. And then the operative just kills him. Runs him through with his sword. And kills Mr. Universe. And they've just got to wait now. Just got to wait for the Serenity to arrive, which is what they're doing. So they're passing through, but they're not just. They don't just want to get through. They've got to work out. They've got to get through Reaver space, and they think they know that the Alliance is essentially going to be waiting for them. So the plan is they're going to get the Reavers to chase them. So they blow up a Reaver ship. In a minute. Here we go. There we go. Oh, for Pete's sake. There we go. Blow up a Reaver ship. And this is hang on, I'll show you this actually. It shows how that they show that there's no sound in space. The only sound that we hear, I think, is inside his spacesuit. It's all muffled. Like that. And boom, boom, boom. And you don't hear the explosion. But anyway. Right, so they've got to head off now, and the Reavers are in hot pursuit. There they are. There's the Alliance fleet waiting with their cool ships in the ion cloud, because they wanted the space battle to have sound. So they've done it in an ion cloud. Does that mean there'll be sound? I don't know. I suppose it depends on the density, doesn't it? But anyway, it says the ship's coming through, and says, look, here he comes. Get ready to fire. Look, he's happy. But then, unfortunately, hang on, where are we? There we go. The Reavers are coming after him. So he says, open fire, everybody, open fire. He says, look, somebody fire. So the battle commences. Lots of pew-pews and missiles and lasers and EMP stuff and harpoons going on. And Serenity's flying through it all. He's a leaf on the wind. Is that what he's going to say? He says it in a minute. Everybody else is strapped down. There we go. I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar. I don't think leaves soar, though, do they really? But anyway. So they're working their way through the battle. I don't know who wins the battle, to be honest. I don't know. I think the Alliance wins, doesn't it? Yeah. See, Josh, always their harpoons, yes. The Reavers using their harpoons. Anyway, so they're trying to get through, and they're nearly there, but then the Reaver ship is on their tail. I keep saying a Reaver because it sounds weird to me, because one of our local bus companies is called a Reaver. Arriva. So I keep saying, when I say a Reaver, I always think of a bus. Anyway, there we go. So battle is going on. Yes, and the operative ship crashes into this Reaver ship. There we go. But he gets into an escape pod and escapes down to the planet. This Reaver ship's firing an EMP beam at the Serenity. There we go. And hits it. And now Serenity's got no power. So it's in a spin. It's not very aerodynamic, is it? But anyway, it manages to get it down. There's wash. Here we go. Doink. It flies like a brick. But anyway, it gets it down, but it does crash. Both engines are smashed off, and it spins round and comes to a halt inside the hangar of Mr. Universe's massive base. That's just him and his robot lady. And this is where we get the bit that shocks everybody. Oh, there we go. It says, hang on. Oh, here we go.
I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch how
No, Wash. Nobody gives a monkeys about Buck, do they? But, oh no, Wash. Wash is gone. He's been speared. So obviously Zoe's like, go on, baby. But then the Reavers have arrived, and it's them that's firing these huge spikes, whatever they are. They fire some more, look, into the cockpit. There they go. They've got to get out. So Reavers are on their tail now. They've got to get to Mr. Universe, and everybody else has got to hold them off. So it's a siege. It's like Assault on Precinct 13, isn't it? That's what it is. So Mal's going to go and find Mr. Universe. And there we go. He finds Mr. Universe's place all smashed up. And we see Mr. Universe is dead. With his robot lover, who he'd actually married. Man, me. But he's recorded a message for her to recite. And she says, "Man killed me, Mal. Killed me with the sword." Anyway, but we learn that even though they smashed up the equipment, he does have a backup transmitter at the base of the generator or something. Says, it's hard to get to. They will have missed it. So off he goes. He's got to go down into this generator room that's huge and super dangerous. And if it were in a game, it'd be, one of the last levels, and I would die in it. Anyway, they're all waiting they're waiting. Essentially, they're going to die. They know they're going to die. Zoe's kind of gone a bit. Can't say the word on YouTube. Whatever, suicidal. But anyway, so the Reavers, Scottish hurling cabers around. Essentially. Anyway, she professes her love to Simon. Or he does to her first, doesn't he? He says it to her. That he's sad that he never got to be with her. She says, "All right, I'm gonna live." So anyway, so they're just waiting for the Reavers to arrive. Here they are. Look, the Reavers have arrived. Would explain why they would not just lay down and die. No, because the Scots would never give up, would they? Anyway, I think this is it where she said, "I'm gonna live." Right, so they're fighting off the Reavers. He finds the generator, whatever it is. They're shooting all the Reavers. Look, they're all coming through. So, anyway. But the operative somehow got there. You know, he was in his escape pod, but obviously he's found his way there now as well. So they're going to have a fight. There we go. And he's going to try and get to the place to do the transmission. They're going to play the hologram thing of Sarah Paulson. That's what they're going to do. But anyway, so they're doing all this. Actually, you see, in the studio where they filmed it, they've just got this platform here, and they didn't know what were going to be below. I think Joss Whedon just says, do something that looks like a big generator or a big reactor, or just something with loads of spinning bits. So Rhythm and Hues or whatever the VFX company did them, but it's not showing them in the blooming. He's going to show us a glimpse. He's not doing it, is it? Anyway, so they're still fighting off the Reavers, but they've got a backup. Kaylee gets hit by some Reaver darts, so she's all weird. I think Jane's been shot in the shoulder, so they've got to get back into this room with a massive door. Why don't they just go in there to start with, just seal the door? I don't know, but anyway, they do now. But then the door won't shut properly. And Simon's left his medical bag outside. Then he gets shot. We get shot. So River's like, "Oh no, he's being shot." Says, "Need my medical bag." So she's gonna go out now, is River, and get his medical bag. There we go. She goes out, leaps out. There we go. Beats up a couple of Reavers, grabs the bag, throws it in. Starts closing the door. Throws the bag through, but she gets dragged away before she can jump through. And they think that's it for her. So you don't know who's going to live or die. As I said, it could be like Blake 7. They could all die for all we know. Anyway, they're still fighting away in Mr. Universe's backup place. And obviously Malcolm's losing again because he's just not as good a fighter as the operative, but you know, he can hold his own. I think he's even been stabbed, hasn't he? He's even been stabbed in the side, but he's still going on. There we go. Oh my, yes, and then the operative does his thing that he did earlier to that fella in his side, but it doesn't work on Mal. And it doesn't even. I don't think it even tells us that. Does it say in the series that this wouldn't work? I don't know, but it's just out of nowhere. So he thinks Mal is now disabled or incapacitated, so he's being all cocky. But Mal obviously can move, so there we go. So he gets him, hits him in the throat, and then breaks both his arms or whatever, dislocates his shoulders like that, and ties him up essentially. Uses his sword to fasten him to this. This post, this railing. But then he explains it. Piece of shrapnel tore up that nerve cluster my first tour. I had it moved. So that explains that then, doesn't it? But anyway. So now he's going to play the thing as the operative watches. 'Cause he hasn't killed the operative. There we go. He's playing it, puts it in. There we go. It goes over the feed. Everybody's seeing it, and on all the planets in the alliance, in the system, in the verse. So off he goes, heading out now. Because it's the end of the level, you can get out easily now. It's a path back out because it's the end of the level. Oh dear. So off he goes. Meanwhile, River's fighting all the Reavers, look, in a graceful style. Look, because she's cool. And Joss Whedon says, he always has, young, late teenage girls fighting and stuff. He says he can't help himself. But she's seen them off. Suddenly this comes through the wall, and the wall gets ripped away any minute now. Have I missed it? Hang on, there we go. But she's seen off the Reaver, so she's standing there, looking a bit like Buffy, a bit like a Slayer with the swords and axes and stuff. She's killed all the Reavers in this room. And then the wall gets ripped out, and now the Alliance soldiers come pouring through, tend to drop her weapons. But the operative, who it must be voice activated communications, because he can't press a button because he's tied up in it. But he says, stand down, it's over. So anyway, that's it. The goodies have won for now, and then we do a dissolve to whatever this planet is. I have no idea where they are now. I don't know. Is it from the series? I don't know. But it doesn't look very nice, does it? It's a bit barren. But anyway, it's where they've buried everybody. Is it the same planet? I don't know. Is it Mr. Universe's planet where these? I don't know where it is. But anyway, Mr. Universe gets a grave, even though we've only known him 5 minutes. But Shepherd Book, they brought him there, and there we go, Wash. They got his grave with little holograms on of them, and they're fastening little messages to a rocket for some reason. Must be a thing. Anywho, Stream Boo over on Twitch. No idea what Stream Boo is still. And then the lovely Gina Torres comes, the lovely Zoe, looking very nice in her dress. She's going to come and fire off the rocket. And they're all sad, but at least they're alive. And then we're back on Serenity. I think back at the other planet, which I can't remember the name of. And it's all been mended, and Inara's repainting the ship's name. They're getting rid of the big gun. They took the gun, I think, off the Alliance ship, I think, that were crashed on planet where Shepherd Book were. But they're taking the gun off, and they're having new engines. Oh, there we go. They're having. Is it going to show it? There we go. I don't know if they're new engines or if they're their old engines that broke off earlier. But anyway, they're bringing them back and they're reattaching them. Look. But I imagine proper engineers are doing that, because Kaylee and Simon are too busy shagging in the engine room as River watches. There we go. Bit of privacy, for God's sake. Anywho, and then suddenly it's raining, and Mal's getting stuff ready, and the operative's there, and he's basically saying, they might come for you, they might not. The Alliance, I don't know. It's basically, I'm not going to work for them anymore. I'm going to head my own way. And Mal says, well, if I come across you again, I still might kill you. I don't know, but anyway, but he's going to let him off now because he helped him. He offered aid to them, after the battle. Patched them up, and I think maybe he's helping them fix the ship. I don't know, but so anyway, so they part ways, and Zoe's sad because she's lost her husband, but she's hanging in, she's carrying. Life goes on basically, and off they go. Having a new chapter in it. They've no Wash now. Book's dead, but. What's her face is okay now. River, she's not crazy anymore, although she is still a little bit strange. But she's not. She says she feels okay, so I think she still has problems, but she's not mental like she was. And also, Inara thinks she's going to hang around. He says, I can take you back to the halfway house or whatever it was that she was staying. And can have you there in a day. He says, well, I'm not sure. And he says, good answer. So maybe she's going to hang around for a bit. And Kaylee and Simon, they're having their relationship. So anyway, so he goes and sees that River is flying the ship, so she's the new co-pilot, I suppose. And she takes the ship up, and he gives her a little pep talk, and saying, the thing you've got to learn when you're flying the ship, the thing you've got to learn is about love. Love keeps her in the air when she ought to fall down, especially with the Serenity, because she's not very streamlined, is she? But anyway, so off they go, up into space, and then something else falls off the ship. Like that. What was that? He says. And that's the end of Serenity. Really, really good film. A Barry Mendel production, whoever he is. Don't know. But really good film. A really, 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 really good film. And a great conclusion to the Firefly saga. But I wonder how they'd gone if they got a full series or multiple series. It's been interesting to see. As I said, I did like Firefly, but I'm not a huge fan. It was a bit too westerny for me. And parts of this film are a bit too westerny for me, particularly some of the dialogue. But it is still a really good film. Super enjoyable. 2-hour film, and it goes by really quickly because there's always something going on. But anywho. So there we go. That's the end of Serenity. Great film. I think it's on. I've put links in the description for where you can watch it at Amazon. I think it's on YouTube as well, and probably other places and all. But anywho, so there we go. That's the end of Serenity. I do like it, but I like the film better than the series. We'll say that. But I did like the series. Right, so we'll leave it there. So what's coming up next? Wednesday, I don't think I'll be doing me Star Trek Voyager Season 2 because I'm struggling to get through Season 2 for some reason. I don't know why, I just am. So it'll be my top 5 favourite movies of 2001, I think we're up to. Probably on Wednesday. And on Friday, for Friday Night Appointment with Fear, it looks like it's going to be The Conjuring, the first Conjuring movie. That's ahead in the poll that's in the community section. It looks like it's going to be that. But we'll see, you never know. I'll keep the poll open till Thursday or whatever. We'll see what happens. And next Monday, I don't know what next Monday's Appointment with Fear is. We'll be into October by then, won't we? Yes, we will. So I've got to try and find spooky films that aren't horror films. Or regular films that I really like, that are kind of a little bit spooky for spooky season. I'll have to have a look about and see what I've got. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks, Justin, for the super sticker. Thanks, Josh Temple, for helping us out with your harpoon. And thanks, Wingrace, and all that. Go and subscribe to Wingrace's channel and everybody else's channels if they've got them. And all that. Ninth Gate. That's Johnny Depp in it. I didn't like that film. I haven't got it either. I can't remember. I think I saw it on Amazon or something once. Because I heard it was really good. I heard it was. It's the one about the book, innit? He's got a book. I think it's that one, innit? And I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's supposed to be set in the same universe as The Exorcist, innit? I think that's right, innit? But yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't hate it or anything. I just thought, this isn't as good as I thought it was going to be. But anyway. A bit like Weapons, that film Weapons that's just come out. I saw that last week and I thought, why were everybody raving about this film? It was alright, but, not as good as I thought it was going to be. Anywho, we'll leave it there. So, anyway, I'll try and think of something for next week. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'm sure I've forgotten something, but never mind. Until next time, I'll say they.